I think it's a pretty awesome day for USA Baseball, the WBC. The only thing I say, when I was named manager, the first guy I thought of was number 99. I wanted him to be the captain. I felt like he's deserving of it. I felt like I watched Mike Trout walk out against Japan holding the flag. I want you to be that guy. So I reached out to Trout yesterday, told him where we were going. He said he's the one. So I couldn't be more fired up for Aaron Judge to be the captain for Team USA.
Oh, boy. You got the right size.
All right, before we take questions, Aaron, you want to give a thought or two before we take questions?
Oh, no, just Skip, that means a lot, hearing that from you. I've watched your career growing up, and then, we've had a relationship over my, short career so far in the big leagues. But to hear that praise from you, hear the praise from Trouty, it's something special, getting a chance to represent our country. I kind of said it earlier this morning, just thinking about all the brave men and women that have fought for this country and, laid their lives down for us to get a chance to go out here, and especially me get a chance to go out here and play a game. It's a pretty humbling experience. So it's just happy to represent the U.S. and, happy to be your captain.
Okay, Meredith, we can start with you on the right.
Dero, was it at all a tough sell to get Aaron to join the team? And for Aaron, what excites you most about playing for Team USA?
It wasn't a tough sell. I had Andy petted on it from jump. Chad Bowling, also mental skills coach here, certainly helped. I reached out to Aaron pretty quick, and I mean, we wanted him the last time, and we knew he was going through the whole free agency process, and we wanted to respect that. But yeah, when it came to pass this time, Merritt was pretty easy choice.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play for Team USA. Watching the last couple WBCs, it's what a great experience. So I've been telling everybody here, I told everybody, a couple years ago when they did it that, I wanted to be a part of it. So, now getting an opportunity where, I just said one little thing to Andy and, I'm here on the team. It's pretty special, but it's just, we're going to have an exciting group. They had a great group last time, and just excited to be another piece of that.
Go to the left all the way, Brendan.
And just how tough was it for you to watch it in 2023, knowing you wanted to play, but knowing also you had just signed that contract, you'd just been the Yankees team captain? Just how much did you want to really do it back then, and how hard was it to say no?
It was tough. Especially looking at the group they had, the lineup they had, some of the greatest players in the game, all stacked in one lineup. It just was something I really wanted to be a part of. But I felt like first my responsibility was, to the Yankees. I just signed a new deal, just got named team captain. I wanted to be, a big part of, getting the Yankees back to where they need to be. So I felt like I couldn't miss that first spring training. But, now after we have another deep run this year and finish the job, it'll be fun going out there and representing our country.
Brian, staying on the left.
Aaron, what do you first of all, are you going to start actively recruiting players for this? And what do you think it takes to build a winner in this tournament?
Well, I feel like Mark kind of had the recipe last year, getting to the championship. I think they had a great lineup, great bullpen and pitching staff. I think we can add a couple new pieces. There's a lot of young players in this game that are exciting, and I think definitely want to represent their country. So it's, recruiting, I think it's just, you want to go out there and win. I think that's the biggest thing is, I think this team's going to be on a mission. A lot of hungry guys from last WBC's team that wants to be in it. So, I'm going to lay it all up to Mark and let him do his thing, get the team that he got last time, and add a couple more faces.
I don't want him worrying about recruiting. From a position player standpoint, I could probably fill out 5 lineups with guys that want to do it. It'll be the pitching that we have to lock down.
Stay right here, Gary, and then John.
I'll pose this question to both of you guys. Do you feel this tournament has become more important to players since its inception?
Yeah, and I credit Japan, I credit the Dominican, Venezuela, the Latin American countries. I think, I was a part of it in '09. It was the second installment, and I felt like it took us a minute and I think it's grabbed some legs. And the last time we were in it, the environment down in Miami against Venezuela and against Cuba and Japan is that of a playoff game. And that's the hardest thing for these guys. You know, they're coming right out of 10 days of spring training and they're getting smacked in the mouth with a playoff AB. But that's the beauty of it as well, to see the greatest players in you know, our country come together and kind of, I don't want to say shed their egos, because that's what makes them successful, but play as one and play as a team.
Ron, to the right. Oh, I'm sorry. Aaron, my bad. Go ahead.
Just kind of piggybacking off of what Mark said. Yeah, just getting out there and getting a chance to. I really feel like the guys do shed their egos, and we're all under one flag, one nation. I think that's a pretty cool concept, and you get a bunch of guys that competed against each other all year long, and now you get to bring us all together and, you know, fighting under one mission. It's going to be something special. So I think just the excitement of getting a chance to represent your country. We play this game for such a small amount of time, so, you know, getting an opportunity like this, I think guys really gravitate towards it.
Sorry, Ron, go ahead.
You had talked about how you had learned when the spring training ramp up this year. Have you thought about working backwards for next spring, how playing in the WBC will affect your preseason timetable?
Not really. I'm hoping for a long season this year, a very short off season, and we'll just keep it rolling right into the WBC.
Going back to the left, John.
Thanks, Aaron. Congratulations. You're part of the generation of players that grew up with this tournament. You were 13 the first time it was played in 06. Griffey was on the team. Do you have recollections of those first couple tournaments as a young ball player, watching them and maybe dreaming of being part of it?
Oof. Not much. I remember watching it. Definitely stayed locked in, but I think the greatest memories for me was in, I think it was 17 when the guys brought it home. You know, you think of the Jones's catch in center off his teammate Machado, Big G, the big 3-run homer there. You know, Marcus Stroman had a big pitching performance. Just, I think that was kind of my first couple of memories, and I was like, wow, like this is something. You know, I just got into the league. I was like, this is something I definitely at some point, hopefully I get the honor of getting a chance to be on that team.
We're going to squeeze in 3 more. John on the left.
For as difficult as it can sometimes be to put together this team during spring training like that, the guys who are always there always say that it's like the best baseball experience of their lives. Aaron, for you, and also Mark, from your own experience, what have you heard from guys who have done it, and is that the message you get of just the overwhelming like excitement and joy about it?
Yeah, I think for me, it's such a unique experience, right? To get a chance, and I know Aaron goes to the All-Star game pretty much every year, so he gets that opportunity. But it's a little bit different. You're getting in this room, and you know the place is going to be packed. All eyes are on you. The other country wants to beat your tail in, and you want to go back and you know, get after it and represent the United States of America the right way. And you're it's different when you have USA across your chest. I can't just speak to that enough. Something happens when you put USA across your chest and you walk into the dugout and you see all those guys. It just means something a little bit different. You're playing for way more than yourself. You're playing for your great grandfather. You're playing for your grandparents, your parents. You know what they represent, your morals, your values, everything. So it's just a little different feeling.
Yeah, for me, just really talking to a lot of the guys, they just talked about just the atmosphere, the experience. It's nothing like they've ever seen. You know, especially some guys that have never been in a playoff atmosphere. They're like, this is the best baseball I've ever played. You know, so now, you know, I'm looking forward to that. You know, looking forward to fighting with my guys and, you know, being in some, you know, high pack situations.
Rapid fire, Dan to the right.
Aaron, did you talk to the Yankees at all about this before you made your decision?
No.
Dave, last one in the middle.
Aaron, you touched on it before that the timing wasn't right for you. Do you think guys do kind of struggle a little bit just to figure out the balance between the team they're playing for and going to play for the U.S., or is it just the U.S. thing just kind of blow the rest of it out of the water?
Yeah, I think it's big. It's all timing. You know, guys are focused on their career and trying to, you know, make a living for their family. I think that's the number one thing, and I think health is important. But that's where, for me, it kind of just lined up. You know, last WBC couldn't get in there, but this time, you know, I got an opportunity before I get too old and Mark doesn't want me anymore out there. That you know, I get a chance to represent my country and, you know, bring home the gold.